Hey everyone, welcome in for today's video. This is Simple How-Tos by J&A, and today we're going to be going over how to use an if statement. So to start out, what is an if statement? An if statement is a formula in Excel that gives you the opportunity to say yes or no to something. So in this case, we've got 6 students and we've got some test scores. And we're wanting to know what's their test score an 80 or higher. And then if it was lower, how many points was it lower? And then in that last column, the E column, we're actually going to combine the formula into one. So rather than doing 2 different columns, we're just going to do it into one. So to start out, we're going to be using 80 as our baseline. And we have 6 students. We have Adam, who got a 90, Bob, who got an 81, Kathy got a 95, Derek got a 77, Edward got a 70, and Frida got an 80. And so to start out, let's just figure out how Adam did on his test score. So obviously looking at this, we can do it, but we're going to do it in Excel. So to start out, we're going to do equals. That's us telling Excel we're going to be doing a formula. And we're going to do equals if. So the word if, IF, and then the tab. What that's doing is it's telling Excel we're going to be doing an if function. And so the first part of the if function is the logical test. So what are we comparing? So we're going to say if Adam, so his B3, if his test score is greater than or equal to our baseline of 80 up here, we want it to say yes. So we're going to type in B3, so Adam's test score, greater than or equal to our baseline of 80. And then we're going to do comma, and then now this is where we're going to say our true. So since we want it to say yes, if that's true, we're going to do quotation mark Y, quotation mark for yes. And the reason we're doing quotation marks there is we want it to display as text. If you don't put quotation marks, it's going to think it's an equation. So, you think 1 minus 1 is going to pull 0. It's not going to put 1 minus 1. But if you put 1 minus 1 in quotation marks, you would get 1 minus 1. And the same thing. So we're going to hit comma, and then we're going to go to our false function, and we're going to do apostrophe, or quotation marks, in, and then quotation mark. And then we're going to close out our formula. And then we're going to click enter. And so, of course, Adam had an 80 or higher in his test score, so his is going to be a Y. Now, what's really cool with Excel is you can actually copy these formulas. And so if we copy it and paste it right down, looks good, right? But if we click into it, we see, okay, this is right. It's Bob's test score of an 81, but our baseline is no longer 80. Now it's over our name. So we need to pull that back up by clicking on it. And if we go into here, on our A1, before the 1, if we actually put a $sign, that locks that value. So whenever you copy or move it, it won't change. It'll always stay on that A1. We don't want that number we don't want that cell to change. So this way, if we copy this by doing Control-C and then Control-V, we will always compare our student's test score with the baseline rather than it following down the page as well. So now that we've done that, now we want to know if it was lower, how many points lower. So we're going to do another if function. So we're going to do equals IF tab. And again, we're trying to do a comparison. So what are we looking at? So we're going to say if their C3, or whether they had an 80 or higher, if it equals, and in quotation marks, we're going to say no again. So if it equals no, we're going to do their score, their baseline minus their score. And so again, we're going to want to put that $sign in front of that 1. Okay, and so that is our true. And we're going to do a comma to move on to our false. So to do our false, we're just going to say it's just blank. So we're just going to do quotation mark, quotation mark. We're not going to put anything in it. And then we're going to close our parenthesis. So this is saying if C3 equals N, do A1 minus B3. But if not, just leave it blank. So we click enter and it's blank. And now since we have our $sign on our A1, we can go ahead and bring that down. And look at that. We know that Derek missed an 80 by 3 points and Edward missed an 80 by 10 points. So now let's combine this formula into one. So instead of having a yes and no column and a point column, we're just going to combine it into one. So we're going to do another if function. So equals IF tab, and it's another logical test. So what are we looking at? So we're going to say if B3 greater than or equal to 80, so same thing as before, and we're going to put that $sign in there. And we want it to say yes again. Okay, and then comma. But instead of putting no this time, we want to do the calculation that we did before for the last column. So in this scenario, we're going to do A1 minus B3 if it does not equal, or if B3 is not greater than or equal to A1. And again, we need that $sign as well. And then we're going to close our parenthesis and hit enter. And then since we have our $sign in front of our 1, we can copy this down. Then Control V. And look at that, we're able to see who made an 80 or higher, and if they didn't, how many points did they miss it by, all in one column. So this is a very cool formula. It's a very good formula that everyone should know how to use. It's very, very functional and very useful. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Look for new videos. I think I'm going to do a whole series of how to do some Excel formulas and some basic Excel knowledge. So don't forget to subscribe to look forward to that. Hope you have a great day.